Are you preparing for a senior-level Spring Boot interview? In this video, we cover the top Spring Boot interview questions and expert answers tailored for professionals with 11+ years of Java and Spring ecosystem experience. 1. What are the key advantages of using Spring Boot in a microservices architecture? Answer. Auto-configuration and opinionated setup reduce boilerplate. Embedded servers, Tomcat, Jetty, simplified deployments. Spring Cloud integration, Eureka, Config, Gateway, etc. Actuator for health checks and monitoring. Simplified dependency management with starters. Supports containerization, Docker-friendly. 2. How does Spring Boot support application configuration and what are the best practices? Answer. Configuration files application.properties or application.yml. Profiles at profile application-profile.yml. Externalized configuration, environment variables, command line args. Use a configuration properties for type-safe binding. Best practices. Use profiles for environment-specific settings. Avoid hard-coding secrets, use Vault or AWS Secrets Manager. Use spring.config.import for config server integration. 3. Explain how Spring Boot handles dependency injection and how it differs from traditional Spring. Answer. Uses Spring Framework's DI under the hood. Reduces configuration via component scanning and auto-configuration. Custom at configuration classes auto-register beans. Unlike traditional Spring XML, Boot prefers Java-based config. 4. What is Spring Boot auto-configuration and how do you customize or disable it? Answer. Auto-configures beans based on class path and properties. Controlled by at enable auto-configuration. Customize via at conditional on class, at conditional on missing bean, etc. Disable using exclude attribute or spring.autoconfigure.exclude. 5. What is the role of Spring Boot actuator in production systems? Answer. Provides endpoints like /actuator /health /metrics /info, etc. Custom health indicators, health indicator. Integration with Prometheus, Micrometer, Grafana. Securing endpoints via management.endpoints.web.exposure.include. 6. How do you manage centralized configuration in Spring Boot microservices? Answer. Use Spring Cloud Config Server for central config management. Clients use spring.config.import equals config server or bootstrap files. Config refresh with at refresh scope or /actuator /refresh. Consider using console or Zookeeper as alternative backends. 7. What is your strategy for securing Spring Boot applications? Answer. Use Spring Security JWT for stateless APIs. OAuth 2 with Spring Security OAuth or Spring Authorization Server. Method-level security with at pre-authorize at secured. CRS and CSRF configuration for APIs. Secure actuator endpoints. 8. How do you handle exception management in Spring Boot REST APIs? Answer. Global exception handling using a controller advice. Use an exception handler for specific exceptions. Customize response entity exception handler for standardized error responses. Define custom error response model, timestamp, message, status. 9. Describe your approach to logging and monitoring in a Spring Boot application. Answer. Use slf4j plus logback or log4j2. Use MDC for trace ID injection. Centralized logging via ELK, EFK, or Fluent. Integrate Micrometer with Prometheus, Datadog, or New Relic. Use distributed tracing tools, Zipkin, Jaeger, OpenTelemetry. 10. How do you handle database transactions in Spring Boot? Answer. Declarative at transactional at method or class level. Use propagation and isolation enums to fine-tune behavior. Rollback on exceptions at transactional, rollback for equals exception.class. XA transactions using JDA for distributed systems. 11. How would you scale a Spring Boot application in production? Answer. Containerization using Docker. Orchestration using Kubernetes. Load balancing e.g. with Nginx or AWS ALB. Horizontal scaling for stateless services. Caching strategies Redis, Caffeine. Use of circuit breakers Resilience 4J, Hystrix. 12. What testing strategies do you follow in a Spring Boot project? Answer. Unit testing with JUnit 5 and Mockito. Integration testing with Spring Boot Test. Web testing with MockMVC TestRest template. Contract testing e.g. packed for microservices. Use of test containers for ephemeral DBs. 13. How do you manage versioning in REST APIs with Spring Boot? Answer. URI versioning /v1/resource. Header versioning except application/vnd.company.v1 plus JSON. Content negotiation with custom media types. Version-aware controllers at request mapping v1. 14. Explain the life cycle of a Spring Boot application. Answer. Application startup via Spring application.run. Class path scanning and auto-configuration. Application context is initialized. Beans are created and dependencies injected. At post-construct hooks run. Application is ready to serve. 15. What performance optimizations do you implement in large Spring Boot systems? Answer. Enable async processing at async at enable async. Use non-blocking I/O with Spring Webflux if needed. Caching layers Redis, Caffeine. Connection pool tuning, Hikari CP. DB indexing, lazy loading, batch fetching in JPA. Profiling with JFAR, Yorkit, or Spring Boot DevTools. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more Java Spring Boot interview preparation content. Comment below with your role and years of experience and we'll tailor our next video for you.